All right, ladies and gentlemen, Cameron crazies everywhere, good evening. Today is March the 4th, and we are talking about the Miami game that just happened over the weekend. Welcome to the stream. For those coming back, thank you for coming back. For those new to the stream, thank you for joining us. Yes, welcome, but more importantly, welcome to March, the most glorious time of the year, which is not actually Christmas. It's March. Yeah, exactly. And this is the best part of the year for basketball. And as we say, I like to say in Durham this time of the year, sights on six, because we're gonna go for another chip. So we had a game, Eric. We had a game on Saturday.
Yep.
We previewed this game, and we were like, it should probably not be like a contest. and we were right. So, but that means that this is going to be a lot of fun. So, for those who are returning, you may be wondering why we didn't actually play the intro video, and it actually has nothing to do with the fact that like we get in trouble with like Twitch like muted audio. It's actually because we're going to do one better. Instead of playing every time we touch from the recording, we actually have the real thing. So shout out to one of our boys down in Durham who went to school with us and was capturing footage for us from the thing. So we're gonna just jump right into the highlights here, ladies and gentlemen, and we're gonna have some fun. And I hope you guys are gonna have fun too, because anyway, here we go. So there we go. So Cameron Indoor Stadium on Saturday afternoon, a packed house, student section up in the rafters to watch our boys compete against the Miami Hurricanes. My goodness, Jim Larinaga, 5-4, actually a winning record against the Blue Devils. Doesn't usually happen. Usually they give us a contest, but not today. As I mentioned before, Eric and I had called this that it would probably be a blowout, and oh my goodness, were we right. So here we go. To get us started, RJ Barrett's going to put this Miami defender just on the floor and then go up for two, but it's not the story about Barrett. It's Marquise. Look at Marquise working down low in the paint. He's going to get two and put Duke up on the board 2-0 early in the early going. And then the turnovers and the mistakes are just going to start piling up for Miami. Trey Jones is going to get this one and knows exactly what to do with it. AOC with the nice layup. And then here we go. This highlight here is not actually about RJ. It's about this Miami defender who, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? This guy blows over like a palm tree. There's no one within 10 feet of the guy. And can I get a you let the whole team down in chat, please? Oh my goodness, the camera crazies are letting him have it. And here we go. RJ again puts this guy into the sand, my God, and then gets his own rebound and puts it in for two. Stat sheet stuffer, RJ. And then, Eric, the moment we have all been waiting for, Trey Jones is going to find a wide open Jack White, and buckets! Finally! Oh my goodness, steak for dinner for Jack White. The streak is broken, and the crazies are loving it. This was 28? Wow. But he finally hits it, and this is incredible. And then there's going to be an air ball for Miami. And then we're going to respond with this. Screen to the top of the key. And look out, because here comes Hurricane Barrett down the lane. Oh, my good. Miami just taking pictures like they're on South Beach at this point. Category 5, ladies and gentlemen. Strong move. And then RJ's going to return the favor to Marquise. Marquise is going to put the Blue Devils up 18-8. And the crowd is going wild. This one took the roof off of Cameron. And ladies and gentlemen, this is how it sounded from the student section. Let's hear it. Timber! Woo! Loving it! Duke on an absolute roll, and we're still in the first half. Miami trying to get fancy, but here's going to have deja vu all over again. Trey Jones right back to AOC, who gets in on the dunk party. Everyone's getting into the action. Fly, boy, fly. It's like reminds me of Grayson Allen. Holy cow. And then RJ's going to look like he's going to go out of bounds here, but nope. To Marquise is going to put up with a nice dunk. This puts us up more than double. And then Trey Jones with the quick hands. Trey Jones, amazing defense in this game. We're going to break it down later, but this kid put on a defensive clinic. Unbelievable. Marquise with the paint position and gets another two. Duke would just keep pouring it on, and then finally, RJ's going to have his way with this Miami defender too. Nobody can stop this guy high off the glass, and the Duke Blue Devils are going to go into the locker room up 28 points at halftime. Unfreaking believable. It's usually close in the first half, and then you stay for the show. Nope. And then Miami's going to try to get into the dunk party, but the Cameron Rim says absolutely not in my house. Cam Reddish with the quick hands, but he's going to get in on the dunk party. All the Blue Devils getting in on the dunk party. It's just incredible. And then here, Tre Jones with a lockdown defense on Likes here. He's going to force Likes to put this up. RJ's going to go up. And then the bodies are flying on the floor. We are up 25, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the effort by the Blue Devils on this possession. 2 more points for Duke. Just incredible stuff. And then Cam Reddish. This is our quintessential Cam Reddish 6 spin move of the day. He did one against Virginia Tech. He's going to do it again against Miami. Let's take a closer look. Look at the typhoon-like counterclockwise rotation here by Cam Reddish. Nicely played. Man, he's sick. And then Cam, this one's going to turn into a turnover, unfortunately, and we're going to go down the court. But people say lightning doesn't strike twice, but Kangaroo Jack does! Two games in a row with Kangaroo Jack just blocking it. Lobster for him in addition to go to the stake. Turns into 2 points for the Blue Devils who just keep piling it on. And then Jack White, another 3-pointer here. Yes, shrimp on the Barbie to go with the food that Jack White is just racking up at this point. And then another 3. Jack White, 3 for 3 in this game. Just give him the whole bloomin' onion while you're at it. Why not? Duke up by 32. And oh my goodness, then AOC is going to get in on the action here with a whoop. Behind the whoop. No, can't get me there. Nice to Brankovic. Great to see the guys a little deeper down on the bench get in on the action. Great stuff. RJ's dancing. Zion's dancing. Where the whole party's dancing. The crazies are loving it. This is good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Eric, what a game. We will get to the Tre Jones here in a second. But wow.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a positive response. I mean, they came out, energetic and just blew Miami out of the water. I mean, that first half was just, that was just insane. Our defense was just creating our offense. And then, like you said, I mean, it was just a highlight reel. The first half. We actually only beat them by the first half by 2 points. We played pretty even scoring wise, but
second half, yeah.
The game was over, before that half even started. It's just our defense created offense. I mean, all the role players were clicking and doing their job. Everybody kind of stepped up. I mean, it really helped. That Coach K said, we had 2 full days of practice to actually work on an offense without Zion in it. And that's a big thing. It's not necessarily that obviously we still miss him, but you do have to retool how your offense runs and how you play with each other. And that's exactly what happened in this game. Our players were much more comfortable with the lineup that we have consistently running throughout the game, and it paid off.
Yeah, I totally agree. And we have some plays that we're gonna do in the breakdown section of the stream where we show how the offense have sort of morphed to Zion Williamson, but. Holy cow. The days of practice, Tre Jones looked like a new person. He's been playing a ton of minutes. He has been on lockdown on the opposing team guard. And what was the stat here with Likes you were talking about here?
Yeah, so Chris Likes, he had been scoring double figures in Miami in 24 of Miami's last 27 games.
9th leading scorer in the ACC. Because Miami doesn't have one higher.
Yeah, absolutely not. Likes has been consistent throughout this entire season. Like I said, double figures almost every game. Tyus Jones held him to 4 points, and he was 1 of 15 on shooting. That means the other 2 points are from free throws.
And the 2, it wasn't even Tre's fault. It was on some turnover in the half court or something.
Yeah, he was picking his pockets and he was disrupting them. And for a team that's at most going to rely on that leading scorer anyway, that just completely dismantled them.
Yeah, I felt like this was vintage Duke all around. The shooting, the defense, the floor spacing. We saw in the highlight, we were up 25, and you have Javin just going to the floor. You got Tre Jones, and you're like, oh God, the shoulder. But no, he's on the floor doing what Tre Jones does, and getting that ball to RJ. Are you at all concerned though with Tre Jones? I saw a stat. Since the injury, his assist to turnover ratio has not been as good as it was previously. I think it's still somewhere in the 5s, but after the injury, it's closer to 1.5 or 2.
Yeah, but I mean, I think some of that might be from certain games that we've had after that. We've had more difficult games since that injury, and then also, one of those games was like I mean, the UNC breakdown without
That's true.
Zion, and then coming back against Virginia Tech. I don't necessarily. I think. I mean, it could probably be a little bit of that. I mean, yeah, you come back from an injury, maybe still not 100%. Maybe this week he was playing better because he finally got some rest. I know we said that he looked a little tired against Virginia Tech, just because of the strength of the schedule that they've been playing. So I think it could be a little bit of both. I don't think he's regressing as a player or anything. It's just
No, certainly not.
kind of a combination of anything. Also when you're talking about the assist part of that, you're anticipating passes. That's I mean a lot of that comes with being able to make passes, but also the chemistry that you have with your other players, like knowing exactly when they're going to cut and be open. And, the more unconscious that actually becomes, the better like chemistry and, the working with the different lineups and stuff that he has, that's going to rebound just like it was at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, let's go right into this here. This is a great segue. So we got Trey Jones here, 6 steals in this game, matching his career high. We put on a little highlight reel here for Trey Jones, who puts on a defensive clinic. And we see here, so this one, it counts as a steal, technically not really a steal. Like Miami just gives it to him, but the vision to know exactly what to do with it, send it down court immediately to Alex. And then this same, like we said in the highlight, deja vu here, bang, right to Alex, who's just Alex has been playing really well,
Oh yeah.
averaging 12 points over the last 3 games where he started. But here, Trey just, getting on the floor, no fear whatsoever. That one's for sure a steal. This one as well. I mean, just such a heads up play. Miami sleeping on the inbounds here, lazy pass. And then this here with Chris Likes. Look at the defense on Likes here. Just oh my goodness, he forces the bad throw, and then Trey, that's a steal that turns into 2 points here. And then this next one is the one that we want to dissect.
Hmm.
Oh no, it's coming up. So this he just goes behind the back and takes it away. Here's the next one. So take a look at the shot clock, ladies and gentlemen who are watching. So Chris Likes picks up the ball with 29 seconds to go on the shot clock. All right. And here's Trey Jones. He tries to go there. Nope, not going to happen. Trey's going to back him out all the way to the front of the key. Not, and then, okay, 13 seconds, 12, 11, 10. Nope, still nothing going. 9, 8. Nope, not going that way. And it's 6 seconds to go. And then forces. So Trey Jones is basically guarding Miami's best player for 23 seconds worth of the shot clock here. And ends up forcing a bad shot. Eric, walk us
Yeah.
through what makes Trey Jones such an amazing on-ball defender here. This is by
I
far
mean,
one of the best Duke defenders we have seen in a long time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, well, I mean, one thing I will say is, I mean, he is incredible. One is his team was actually playing better defense as well. I mean, if you kind of look in the background, everyone else is in great defensive position between Likes and the men that he could potentially throw to. So every time, Trey Jones is up in his face. I mean, he is right there, focused, locked in. He's not looking at the ball. You can tell he's basically staring at Likes' chest or his waist. And he has great anticipation of where Likes is going to go, but he knows that behind him like all the options of where Likes could pass are covered. And every time Likes, he's worried enough about Trey Jones, and he only gets a half of a second to try to look up to see another orange jersey to throw to. And then if he sees a hint of a white jersey in there, then he has to go back to trying to get by Trey Jones. And he's just able to stick with him. Um, you
Yeah,
know,
let's see if I can get my. I
Larry
can't get
Nega
my drawing
himself,
here.
even said that Trey Jones is a great on-ball defender because he'll pressure you full court, half court, deny you when you don't have the ball, and then he's just focused. I mean, I guess that just runs in the Jones family. I mean, I think they used to say Tyus Jones was great at finishing at the rim because he never took his eyes off until the ball was almost through, which resulted in Tyus Jones falling down a lot after he made a layup because he wasn't
Here,
spotting his landing as well. But
here.
he finished an overwhelming amount of layups, and I think you know, uh, Trey Jones brings that to his defense.
Yeah,
Um,
and just the way that he's always staying in front. So we're gonna roll this. See if we can roll it. No, it's okay. That's what happens when you try to do all this stuff live. All right, so we're gonna roll this forward. So, but he does this without fouling.
right. He's great at keeping his hands up. He moves his feet. He never stops sliding. Sometimes defenders will kind of think that they have a guy cut off, and that's the point where they might try to like reach down and go for a steal that really isn't an opportunity to steal it. I mean, Trey is smart about when he goes for this steal. I mean, sometimes we've seen him like almost run around a guy and come around the top side of a guy and almost end up with the ball. Whereas like you're thinking like, wow, why would you do that? You just gave him an open lane to the basket. But I mean, it's just a mental game. You know, that's a big part of it. I mean, he just creates this omnipresent feeling on the guy bringing the ball up, that even though the guy might actually be open and have a way to beat him, like he still thinks Trey Jones is there. He creates this like amoeba effect, and I mean that's just a game long thing that he's able to pull off.
Yep. And then, so for all the young Blue Devils out there trying to be better defenders, this is what you want to watch. I mean, because this he is just, and then he's gonna back him out here, and then Chris Likes is gonna try to do it again. A little crossover move, a little crossover. Nope, nope, and he's gonna just just back him
Yep.
out the whole thing. It's beautiful stuff. It's beautiful stuff from Trey Jones, and we've been seeing it. Like, we haven't seen it as much in the past few games because he was playing so much. But now, and we finally got some rest and practice, and he's just, I mean, they dialed it up. They dialed it up on defense, and it was great to watch. Little programming note for those watching on the stream: the poll for tonight is active, and it is to vote for your favorite play. So we have a few plays out there. So if you mouse over the video player, you'll see the Twitch poll pop up, and we've got RJ's dunk, Jack White's threes, Trey Jones's defense, and the reddish spin cycle. So go ahead and take your pick. We'll see what the crowd picks at the end of the show. Now, we're going to move over to some of our offensive plays. And granted, there weren't as many, I don't know, Eric, like there weren't that many complicated plays in this one. There was a lot of just very open basketball.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was just transition offense. I mean, our defense was creating it, or Miami's misses were creating it, and we were just kicking the ball up to, whichever one of our players had released to cut down court, and that just creates fast breaks and layups. So, I mean, that's pretty textbook stuff in itself. And, we were executing it greatly, hence all the dunks and great finishes. But yeah, it's nice to have an offensive game that's not too complicated because it
Yeah,
usually means we're doing pretty well.
exactly. And B. Russman in chat. Yes, the great amoeba defense. Great comment. Great vocabulary there, Mr. Russman. So we're going to break down this first play. And this is actually the Jack White three. Like, this is the one that gets him open and he ends up scoring it to break the drought. So we're going to let the play run through here. And then we're going to break it down for you. So here it is Jack White. He's open in the corner. Now, Eric, how does he find himself so wide open? Other than
Yeah,
Miami's just bad.
Yeah, so this starts with Miami's, kind of in a 2-3 zone here, trying to do what they've seen all other teams do against Duke. Obviously, they don't
So
execute it as
one,
well.
two, bang, bang, bang. There you go. There's
Yeah.
your 2-3.
Um, so first of all, like, I mean, I don't even, I forgot his name, but like the guy who's the center of their zone is like a foot and a half shorter than Bolden or something like that.
This dude,
So yeah, that's an
this
interesting
dude.
choice.
I'm pretty sure this dude got handled by Barrett later on. Yeah.
Yeah, so this simply starts with just Barrett passing over to Jack, who's obviously at the top of the key over there. Bolden is going to drop down to the block on the left side of the paint. Jones is going to come up from the corner. Jack White's just going to simply kind of do a handoff to his outside hip, and in that process set a screen for Brown, and that's going to lead to
Yep. So
um,
let's run this forward. So we got Marquise going down the pass and Trey Jones here. So we're gonna be a screen for the ball handler.
yep. And their defender, who's in the zone, decides to. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're in a zone because that's the formation they started in. He decides to go over the top of a screen, which is a terrible move
Ouch.
because then that leads to Jack White's guy being the only defender that can pick up Trey Jones, who's now wide open with a potential drive to the paint, which he has to do.
And we have Joey Baker down here flashing. Is this a potential play here as well?
Uh, yeah, I mean, sometimes it's hard to tell when a well-run play is run. Like, I mean, it just seems fluid. I think that's also just a solid reaction that he just sees an open lane and you kind of just start to cut towards the open lane. Trey
Hmm.
Jones kind of get there first when he turns this corner. Um,
We're gonna
but
see
yeah,
Jack White try to move out over here.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually when you set a screen, you usually end up going, rolling to the basket or floating away kind of for a shot. I mean, that's pretty fundamental basketball. Which and then the screen is executed excellently. Trey Jones draws Jack White's defender to commit to him. Jack White smartly floats to the corner, and this time Trey Jones sees him. Actually, makes the defender commit even more by doing like a jump pass. So I mean, you see the defenders commit. They think Trey Jones is about to pull this like elbow jumper,
Look at the eyes.
um,
They're
and then he just finds him.
These guys have no idea. These guys have no idea what's going on right now.
Yeah, there's no way three people should be like guarding Trey Jones on this at this point in any defense. Like, there's just no way. So they completely had a breakdown, and just left Jack White wide open in the corner. And I guess he was just nice and relaxed, and finally felt that it was time to drain one.
Trying to drain one. There it is. And at the end of the thing, you have the guy who was on Joey try to like close out. It's not gonna happen. Not gonna
Yeah, you
happen.
can't cover that much ground. You're not
Can't.
Zion.
Yeah, exactly. And so and the shot goes in and it's beautiful stuff. All right, this next one that we have here, this is sort of quintus. We want to show this one because we really want to show how the offense has morphed without Zion. So when you pointed out earlier, great call out. The coach said they got 2 days of practice and they were able to specifically practice without Zion. And this play, if you look at it, it brought a tear to my eye because it reminded me of when we were in school back in like the late 2000s and you had teams with like John Shire, Kyle Singler, and then like Ryan Kelly and Ryan Kelly, Seth Curry, and even Grayson. This idea of driving into the lane and kicking to an open shooter, right? And that's when we could
Yep.
hit threes.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
but actually, I think this is a set play because
Mhm.
if you look down here, we got Coach. Look at it. We got Coach calling that, and then look at him again. He's gonna like point up there. He's gonna do this thing. I think this is a set play.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was too. I noticed Coach down on the corner. I mean, yeah, they basically let us inbound the ball to Trey Jones at the top. Then it kind of everyone kind of goes and sets up to their particular positions. I think Miami is actually in like because they're not really in like a man-to-man position at this point. It kind of looks like they're in like a 1-2-2 or like I don't know if you want to like some people call it like a box and one. It's kind of hard to tell. Because they might just be running it poorly. But they have a guy who's very much on Trey Jones,
So
and the other four guys are
here,
kind of just posted up in a
here,
square. Yeah,
yeah. Okay. So those are your three lines of defense,
right.
and then we got shooters. So we have our main shooters on the wings.
Yep.
There's nobody. There's nobody within 8 feet of these guys. So this is gonna
Right.
end. This is gonna end
But
well
by
for
the
Duke.
yeah, but by the time in this current position, by the time he could pass the ball to either one of them. Like they could reasonably get a defender over there, because they're already because they have those top two guys kind of out looking for that. But like this player depends on like getting the ball into the middle and making that collapse first. Um, yeah, so we kind of have Trey up top, RJ and Cam on the wings. We have AOC goes to the corner here. Bolden goes down to the block. See, Trey passes to RJ on the right wing. Trey cuts away to the left corner, kind of clearing out, giving RJ enough space.
Yeah. So Trey's gonna come
Bolden
up,
comes.
come up here if we
Yeah,
keep
sorry, I'm a
running
little
this thing.
fast.
Yeah. So and now look. So now we have this real floor space, right?
Right. So that was another like this is
One.
very typical. Bolden's been coming up to screen for RJ a lot. And there was actually Bolden even had he did his normal roll to the basket, which he normally does. It just wasn't quite open. I think they were looking for a different thing here. Um, so the Miami defenders, I mean,
So you're
they
saying this
commit.
pass was not open.
It was, but it's actually important that it like he could have gave it to him. He could have given him like a little dump down bounce pass. I think some of the Miami defenders might have reacted a little differently. I don't know if it would have been like the clean lobs like we saw last week.
Hmm.
But the important thing about him cutting as everyone else and RJ drives to the left is that the defender who would normally be the one that kind of covers that right corner as kind of the safety in case the ball comes back around has now had to commit to Bolden,
This guy.
um, underneath, and Bolden does a great job of sealing him down there, like making him D him up on that block, which then, if we go fast forward a little bit, when we have the ball swing and the reversal coming back over from Trey Jones, as O'Connell pops back to his corner. Um,
Yeah,
there's
Alex
there's no one
never
there.
left that corner.
Yeah,
By the way, yeah,
there's no reason to. Yeah, there's no one nowhere really to go. The important thing is that we're doing now is keeping the floor spread. Like we're making Miami have to, the defenders have to choose between going 5 feet this way or 6 feet this way, and you got to make a choice. Do you stop the guy driving or do you leave the wide open three? And I mean, it's great when we hit like more than 30% of them because that even and then later down the game that opens up the drive, because then you're like, oh crap, that guy just hit two threes over there. I should
yep.
probably stay back a little bit, and then Trey Jones gets a drive. I
So
mean, I
this is
think
the
Alex O'Connell
boom.
since starting, he's been like 8 of 13. So I mean, he's
Even
definitely getting himself
shooting the
open.
lights out. The kid's been
Yeah,
great. Yeah, but yeah, this is the quintessence. This is the drive and the kick, and it's just beautiful. Bang! I mean, everything about it.
yeah. I mean, and,
Amazing
and
stuff.
that those are such demoralizing shots too. When you feel like you're playing defense and stuff like cutting somebody off on a drive, then you just like you see the guy throw a pass over your head and you turn around and you're just like, oh my god, and then he just the guy's 20 feet open from you and there's nothing you can do. I mean, and that's one of those like high like momentum plays right there, just demoralizing to Miami.
Yeah, look, when Trey Jones makes this pass, the there's nobody. Look at this.
Yeah, I mean that's a great choice by Trey Jones because honestly, I mean, look, he's jumped in the air. I mean, this almost looks like he could have shot it. I mean, he's what, like
Yep,
4 feet, 4 or 5 feet from the basket. Like he hits those floaters. Like he could
exactly,
have shot it,
exactly.
but it's a much better choice to kick it out.
Yep. Yeah, and so he makes the right decision here because we have seen him hit the floaters. They're beautiful. He just puts it up there, and but yeah, you get three out of this one. So amazing stuff. Great stuff. Great all around play by our boys. Um, just I don't even know. I'm out of like praise. It was great. It was great. It was great to watch, especially after such a tough game at Virginia Tech. But so great
Yeah.
stuff. Great stuff by Duke. All right. Um, so we want to moving on. We are going to look at. Let's see. We are going to look at this one. Oh, nope. Yep. One sec. I don't know where it went. Oh, I do know where it went. There it is.
Too many clips.
Too many
Too many
clips.
highlights.
There it is. We're good. All right. The trials and tribulations of doing everything live on the first take. All right, we got a game against Wake Forest tomorrow night. Very similar to Miami. This Wake one final home game of the season. So
Yeah.
they're going to be charged up, ready to go. Wake is struggling, to say the least.
I think Miami beat Wake, right?
Yeah, and we tried to get our friend on to talk about Wake. He's a Wake Forest undergrad. Went to graduate school at Duke. We tried to get him on to talk about his team, and he didn't want to come on and talk about anything having to do with Wake Forest basketball this season because
Yeah.
it's that bad. They are yeah.
There's just not much to talk about.
Well, they are 4-12 in conference play, 11-17 overall, and in their last game against Syracuse, all right, they were held scoreless for 13 and a half minutes during their loss, and they lost by 25 at home. So they turned the ball over 23 times, and so I suspect more steals for Trey Jones. This is another get well game. They are led by their guard Brandon Childress. Honestly, I feel like I don't know about you, but there's certain people on other teams, especially in conference, that you're like, wow, that guy's been here forever. Like,
Yeah.
and we went to Duke for 6 years, but like, it feels like this guy has been here for like 8.
Yeah.
I remember.
That's just the feeling like compared to a lot of the players that we have. I mean, that's called the senior days.
I
Four,
remember
four
when
times as long as most of our
yeah,
starters. So
I know. We went to go watch Wake Forest Duke at Wake when Luke Kennard hit the game winner that saved our season. It's like 2 seasons ago, I think. And he was still playing there. And I was like, wow, this guy is still around. But anyway, Duke leading in every statistical category. Eric, any chance we have a big game against Carolina coming up
Mhm.
on Saturday? Any chance for a trap game?
No, I think we'll be okay. This would be that no, there's not.
No, no, there's not. Okay,
I was trying to think like like there's the typical characteristics that would come from a trap game. I mean, like a player to have his career high, which I guess could be Childress, but I mean there hasn't just been enough production from anybody else to support him. Besides that, I think even if he went off, he's just taking possessions away from the rest of them.
right.
They seem to trip up themselves enough. Um, yeah, it's hard to see. I think like the ESPN win percentage as of like today was Duke is like 99.4% supposed to win. You know,
99.4%. Granted, our win percentage against Louisville, we were down 23, was lower, and we managed to do it, but that's our boys, not Wake
that's
Forest.
true.
So
Yeah,
sorry, Demon Deacons. I don't think it's going to happen. We did
yeah.
also want to. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say they also do have one of their. Again, I haven't paid that much detail to like their deep, like the other than the top three players, but they I know one of their centers has been out like the last three games, so I think that's also having an impact on them. There might be some other mental stuff going on. Apparently, they just got a new athletic director,
Yes.
or they're going to be getting one, and he's the former Tennessee athletic director, John Curie, who he's the former, not because he's currently there and will be leaving, it's because he's already been let go from Tennessee for really he tried to have Greg Schiano, who was the former assistant coach, I think at Penn State,
Yeah.
become the new coach at Tennessee, and that was a
For
little bit of a
football. For
yeah
football. Rather than the
that
Rutgers
started
stuff. Right.
yeah that started a little bit of a revolt. So but he's coming into Wake Forest now, and kind of adds that pressure of with the season going on that their head coach Manning might be on the chopping block, and there's a little bit more going on in the background here too. So um,
Mm.
yeah, I just think it's going to be kind of a similar 30-point route.
Yeah, well, that's good with me. But we did want to make sure to point out a couple other things. Right before we came on stream, Virginia did manage to beat Syracuse. They were up. They had to travel to Syracuse. So, unfortunately, and I don't think that Louisville is going to beat Virginia in the final game Saturday, although Louisville did beat UNC by 20 points at
Hmm.
Carolina earlier. Um, maybe. So it seems like perhaps the ACC regular season may slightly be out of play for Saturday.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I think that's why the one reason why that Virginia Tech loss is kind of huge, because that really kind of shifted it a little bit down the stretch.
Yeah. And all right. So one last shout out that we want to give out tonight to the women's team because they beat UNC in a sellout yesterday. And they have now swept UNC for the third time in the last four seasons. They won 62-44, going away. Can I get some GTHC in chat, please? Go to hell, Carolina. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ritz. That's Eric. Have a good night. We will see you back on Thursday to recap Wake Forest and look forward to Carolina. Go Duke.
Go Duke!